Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular reading of the Zion Park District dated November 16, 2017. Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye. Here.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
Commissioner Rivers? Commissioner Magera?
Here.
President Hartman?
Here. Okay. Dave, what we'll do is, and I appreciate you making the long ride up here to come and brief us. So what I'll do is I'll get through the minutes and then write down where approval agenda, and then right after that we'll let you
That's great.
do your
Appreciate it.
brief, and then you'll be able to. So, is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
All right, sir. Thank you.
So move item 9 to item 4A.
Item 9 to 4A. Okay. All right. Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Yeah. Anything?
No.
Okay. Minutes of the Personal Finance Subcommittee meeting and the minutes of the regular meeting of the Zion Park District dated 19 October 2017.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Personnel and Finance Subcommittee and the meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Zion Park District dated 19 October 2017.
I second it. All right, I have a second. Any discussion? All right. Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Magera?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. All right, well, sir, we welcome you.
Good evening. This is the third step out of 4 steps that the Park District in your financial model is taking. The issue size is $730,935. The Park District is buying the 2019 maturity. The 2018 and the 2020 maturities were sold competitively. So what you have before you as Series A is the competitive component. That's $530,935. The low bidder was KS State Bank in Manhattan, Kansas. They actually bid out of Phoenix, Arizona, and were the winners last year as well for the Park District. The other bid that was received was Park Ridge Community Bank at 2.698. So very close. 2.66 was the low winning bid. 2.698 was the second place or cover bid, with a third bid from Wind Trust Bank. Wind Trust Bank bid as a consortium of 3 charters: the Libertyville Bank and Trust, Lake Forest Bank and Trust, and the State Bank of the Lakes are all charters from Wind Trust, and if they were low bid, they would have split the issue between the 3 of them. So good bids, fair bids, very close, frankly, to the bids last year that you received, and a little bit unusual because the interest rates are up considerably from last year. So we're seeing 50 to 75 basis point higher interest rates on bids this year because of tax reform conversation, tax rate changes. The economy is in a little bit different place, a little bit more oomph to the economy. CPI is up from 0.7 to 2.1% in 16. So all of those indices are seeing higher interest rates, but yours was within a few basis points of the bid last year. So very, very good. So certainly would recommend the acceptance of that. Because they bid both maturities at the same 2.66 rate, it's easy to slot in your piece right in the middle of that at that 2.66. So where the market was for your piece as well as for the other two maturities. The one thing I would note on the next to the last page of this Series A, this would be kind of a refresher on the financial model, that you can see that your $730,000 issue compared to the $585,684 debt service extension base is why you end up with 3 maturities. Next year, you'll have one more issue where you will have no capital project money. That will all be still for prior obligations. And you can see that that issue size will be around $345,605. But then when you get to 2019, the 2009 A and B issues are done. They'll be fully paid off at that time. And so the rollovers that you'll be selling in 2019 and beyond will be capital money dollars as opposed to making payments of prior obligations. So from a capital planning standpoint, we know that certainly Eric and Marilyn are aware of those things and kind of chomping at the bit to kind of can't skip steps, but at the same time, from a planning standpoint, it does give you a sense of timing of things that you can begin to look at. As you well know better than I do, all of those tipping fees that used to go toward debt service are now being kind of inserted into your operations, and you have been able to shore up and do some things that you wouldn't have been able to do should they have continued to be utilized for debt service. So, good model. You know, you're 3 years into the 4-year cycle. You have one more year to kind of keep the belt tight and not have any capital money out of your rollovers, but then in 19 you start fresh. So you're in a good place, and following that model, I think, has been helpful. So,
Definitely.
Definitely.
so certainly would recommend the acceptance of the low bid from KS State Bank for Series A, your bid from Series B, and the adoption of the ordinance that incorporates both series into the legal documents and the levies that will go on file.
Thank you, sir. So are we going to make a motion tonight to approve the low bid on
So
2.66?
it would be ordinance 848.
Okay,
That's,
this right here. Okay,
ordinance 848 is what you're going to
Okay.
vote on.
all right, well, thank you. And sir, thanks again for coming up here, and we'll see you next year. And
See you at the conference. It's
Yes, sir.
Coming around the corner.
yes, sir, we'll sure be there. Okay,
No,
And 847.
it's,
I-
it's in, it's from the
Attorneys
attorneys.
finished all the final numbers on
So
it.
we waited until tonight, so we'd have all the final numbers because the sale was yesterday. So, but we
Okay.
can go ahead and,
yeah.
you can go ahead and make that motion since we are.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and entertain a motion to approve ordinance 848.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 848, providing for the issue of approximately $530,939 general obligation limited tax bond series 2017A, and approximately $200,000 taxable general obligation limited tax bond series 2017B, for the purpose of providing for the payment of certain outstanding obligations of the district, providing for a levy of the direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchasers thereof.
All right, do I have a second?
I did second.
All right, I have a second. Any discussion? All right, Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Magera?
Aye.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. Again, sir, please have a safe trip home.
Can I just
Yes, ma'am.
interject
Go
right
ahead.
here? I just really want to thank Dave for being here tonight, but also for helping us put together this plan. When Eric and I met with him 3 years ago, it really was a great opportunity to work with you and to develop this plan, and it's so wonderful for us to see it working so well for our park district, and thank you very much, Dave. We really appreciate working with you.
We appreciate the opportunity.
I
Yeah.
echo those sentiments on behalf of the board too, that we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Have a
Okay,
safe
have
trip
a
back.
Thank you,
Trip
Dave.
home.
Good to see you.
Okay, moving on. We're not going to executive session?
Yeah, so we have to do, no, we're not gonna have
Okay.
an, so yeah, let's do the agenda. We have to approve the agenda.
All right,
The executive session is out
okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda
as amended. since
as
we
amended, that
moved.
we moved the 4A, or 9 to 4A.
So moved.
I have a second?
A second.
All right, I have a second. Any discussion? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Magera,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay, any commissioners' comments?
I attended the senior luncheon yesterday. Marilyn, once again, you staff did one good job. Everyone looks, they have fun. It was a great lunch.
Yeah,
I enjoy myself.
Good, thank you.
it was. That was an outstanding event.
I'll
So-
make sure to share that with the staff.
Again, you know, you guys outdid yourselves again, and I mean, it goes on. It's every event I go to, it's the same thing, so I really appreciate all the hard work everybody does around here. It's definitely noted, so, thank you, sir. Okay, any other comments from any of the commissioners? All right, anything from the attorney?
No.
All right. I will need a motion to approve for unpaid bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the total unpaid bills of $84,532.87. The total paid bills for $269,357.68. For the October grand total of $353,890.55.
I have a second.
I'll second that motion.
All right, I have a second. Any discussion? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Magera,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay. Director's report.
Okay, just a couple of things. The Zion New Tech High School litter project presentations were not ready for this evening, so maybe next month they will be coming. I'm not sure. There's a group that wants to work with the Park District about a litter, some kind of a project. We don't know what it is. They're bringing a presentation to you, but it was canceled for tonight. They
Okay.
weren't quite ready. IAPD conference, again, I'm taking registration. The early bird deadline is coming up quickly, the first week of December. But one thing I wanted to share with you is that the Ansel Glink is doing a dinner again. This time they're doing it at Goose Island Barrel House, so it's not the Greek restaurant. So I need to RSVP on that also as soon as you know whether you're gonna.
What day is that one on?
It is
That the-
on Friday night,
Oh, wow.
They usually have it on Friday.
January
Is it Friday?
19th. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was like, okay.
Yeah, it's on Friday.
It's on Friday, yeah.
We usually don't go.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it was the Greek restaurant, we didn't care for the food, but this is a different place.
Yeah, this is
So-
The
better.
early bird registration is December 1st.
Okay, so I need to really know if you're gonna go to
Okay.
the conference. So I just wanted to share that with you, so make sure you let me know if you want to do that. I did go to the meeting tonight, or this afternoon, on the Green Bay Road project. what I heard there was that they had the money to do phase one, which was all of the presentation that they made today with the maps and graphs and charts, and they were having a public meeting. I did not stay for that. I just went to see what it looked like in front of Shepherd's Crook and how that was going to look. And but that they don't have the finances for phase 2 and 3 figured out yet, so this could be still another long way away. And standing there talking with the mayor of Zion and the mayor of Beach Park and our state representative and one of the staff. She wasn't an IDOT staff. She was, I think, their vendor that put together the presentations. I don't know what that company was. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. And concerns about the municipalities being responsible for a lot of the work to make this project happen, like moving water and sewer, and especially for the north half, they're looking at putting in their preferred program. I don't remember what the word was they used, was to put in a median, yes, thank you. And so there was a lot of question
I can
on
imagine.
some of those things. Sidewalk on one side and a bike path on another side. And basically, I think the impression there was also that the municipalities would pay that part of the project. And, it's a 7.5 mile stretch from Sunset to State Line that they're talking about. It would be nice in front of Shepherd's. It would be 2 lanes in both directions, which, would be nice. There is an opening both ways, so you could get into the, even with that medium, they actually had an opening there, which was nice to see, because on some of them, the way that they want to do it is put in U-turns. So if you can't get in this driveway because you're going this way, you come up to this corner and you do, or not even a corner, it's just an opening, and do a U-turn to go back into something that's on that side. So it's a little different. But anyway, that's what I found out. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of movement on this anytime soon unless the state really gets some project money from somewhere.
Yeah, especially the municipalities paying for a lot of it too.
Yeah.
It's not going to be,
No, that's not going to happen.
so.
So I just wanted to share that with you. So that's all I have for that.
All right. Any commissioners have any comments? Okay, moving on. Could you talk about Resolution 847?
Okay, so that is another transfer that we have set up because we are collecting the tipping fees that Dave referred to in the recreation fund, and then transferring into the general fund to pay down our due from balance sheet. And then also from the recreation fund to the construction fund, because the recreation fund is taking in the revenue for grants, and then the construction fund is expending the dollars. So those are the 2 transfers that we'd like to do this month in the plan for our fiscal year.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 847.
I'll entertain a motion that we approve Resolution 847 to transfer from the Recreation Fund to the General Fund $125,000, and from the Recreation Fund to the Construction Fund $60,000.
All right. Second?
Second.
All right, I have a second. Any discussion? All right, Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Commissioner McGarrah,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay, moving on. Move on to approve of ordinance 849.
Okay, so I did give you an updated estimate of levy ordinance. But what we could talk about first is the worksheets that Eric put together. I can kind of explain what you have in front of you. So if you go to scenario 1 in purple, so this should be the second page in the packet I gave you. Up in the left-hand corner, it says scenario 1. So we put together 3 scenarios that are listed there, scenario 1, 2, and 3, for the estimated levy. So tonight we do an estimated levy. In December, we do our tax levy, the actual levy. Okay, so tonight is just really to put together the estimate of where we're going to go. So scenario 1 is, well, let's start with the EAV. The EAV has risen because, as Dave also mentioned, the CPI is 2.1% this year, which is higher than it has been for at least 5 years. So that is leading to higher values on the property that comes within the Zion Park District. The other item that is going to affect the EAV for us this year is that TIF 1, which is the downtown TIF, is closing. Okay, so what a TIF is, just to kind of explain why this is important to us. 23 years ago, they created the TIF downtown to help boost business and the infrastructure of that area. And so it is closing out because TIFs last for 23 years, and the increase in the value of that property over the time, it was frozen from when it started as a TIF. The value grew, but it stayed in a TIF district, so we didn't get those disbursements. Well, now it's coming out of the TIF, so that value is going to come back to us. It's kind of like new construction this first year that the TIF goes out. So it gives us a boost there. So we have, for the past, well, since I've been the director, we have been very conscientious about the levy that we propose in the community of Zion, trying to be part of the solution of driving down the tax rate, keeping our, just taking what we need to operate for our levy. The levy is what we ask for. The extension is what we receive. Those are the two differences on this scenario, or on this worksheet, just so you know that what we're talking about. So, scenario 1 is taking a small increase in our levy. It will give us about $45,000 more dollars. Our tax rate still goes down under scenario 1, but it's not capturing much of that new construction money in this first year that it's becoming available to us. So that's why we did scenario 2 and scenario 3, was to look at what is the impact if we try to capture some of that in this first year for the Park District. Really to help us, like, again, Dave referred to, we have no capital project money yet. We're very much anticipating and putting together plans for when we do have the opportunity for that, for some infrastructure stuff that just needs to get done. But this is an opportunity. So in scenario 3 is really capturing the highest amount. Again, though, the tax rate still does reduce in this scenario. So I think we can feel good about that we are still reducing the rate that we're charging. We are a very small percentage of the pie of this community, though, so it doesn't have a lot of impact when only 6% goes down. But this is what we have to worry about is our impact on the community. So we're recommending for our estimated levy to look at scenario 3, the highest possibility for capturing that growth that we have in the community this year. It gives us some time, but it also gives us some flexibility when we actually do the levy next month. So we're going to start here. Maybe you're going to go through this scenario 2 and say, can we do this? It makes that tax rate reduction a little bit higher. But we think that scenario 3 is a very fair assessment for us. And it really does help us to manage where we are and to take advantage of, for 23 years, we haven't taken that,
Now we need to.
that real estate because it's been staying with the TIF. I've been on the TIF board, really working on getting projects going in the downtown so that does build up, and that's how it works. So we need to be cognizant of that. And the one thing, though, that will do for us is it will take our tax rate above 5% change from the extension we had last year, which is what we collected, okay, and the levy for next year, which is what we're asking for. And when you have more than a 5% change, then we'll have to have a truth in taxation hearing. We have to put in the paper that our rate is going up higher than 5%, and the levy is going up over 5%. So you need to be cognizant of that also.
But even though that is going up, our tax rate is going down
It's
still.
still
Still
going
going
down.
down.
And we're maximizing those 23 years of not having those dollars.
Right, because that's coming back on this year.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
What I recommend the board members do is get with Eric and Marilyn and go over this and make sure you have a definite understanding on how this is all working, because this can be very confusing. And I just want to make sure that everybody has a good knowledge of what they're looking at and what these guys have actually worked on. So that's my recommendation to you guys. And
So, what we do have to do resolution 849
Right.
tonight, which is the estimate. And again, I would just recommend that we go with that scenario 3. It gives us the most flexibility to make decisions about how we want to do that at our final
that's
levy,
December meeting.
at our December meeting. And we may have some input from the community at that meeting.
Right.
Which, is positive for us, I think. We'd like to hear if the community feels that one way or the other about it.
Okay. Any questions other than that? All right, well, first of all, I'd like to thank you and Eric. I mean, I know that this is complicated, it's very confusing, and even people that are in this profession are confused sometimes. And it's really hard to put something together like this. I mean, this doesn't take 2 days and throw this together. So I really want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This is really good work, and it takes a lot of hours to get this accomplished. So again, thank you for everything you guys do. Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 849.
849 or 847?
849.
Okay.
We did 847.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance 849 with the recommendation of scenario 3 for the 2017 tax levy estimate.
I will second that.
All right, I have a second. All right, any discussion? All right. Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrah,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye.
Got my own question answered as bright as you asked for discussion.
That's okay.
I had a question and it came up, and my question was answered as soon as you got to discussion.
Okay.
Well, that's a good thing. Okay, next on the list is the Golf Now agreement.
Yeah, we had this on the agenda
No.
last.
It's reading.
We had the agenda, this on the agenda last month, and the agreement wasn't ready yet, but it is ready now for us to vote on. So what this really is, Golf Now is who we use for tee sheet and quite a bit of our golf operations, marketing, outreach.
Getting those hours that aren't filled.
Correct, yes. All of those programs that, we have in place with Golf Now. So this is a Golf Now Answers program. Basically takes some of the burden off of the clubhouse staff when they're trying to check people in, like when it's busy there, and they're trying to check people in and the phone's ringing off the hook. And some people go to voicemail. Guys who are trying to book tee times don't want to go to voicemail. The guys in the clubhouse, they want to provide customer service to the people who are standing there in front of them and make sure they have a really good experience while they're there. So this is an answer system type of program. And so they will take those calls. They have a call center. The one thing that Alan and I liked about the proposal is that we provide the script for them. So the person who's answering the phone knows everything about our golf course. They can answer questions as if it was one of our staff. Somebody would not even really know that it's not our staff that are answering, because we're going to provide them with everything that they need to answer a golfer's questions about coming out to our facility.
So it's almost like a help desk type thing?
But they're gonna book tee times. It's like, you can go to the website and book tee times, or you can call the clubhouse. And there's a lot of people who just go to the website, book their tee time, and they're set. But there's a lot of people who wanna call and ask questions because, I don't know the golf course, I have questions,
Or they just have the number plugged into their phone and they just hit the button automatically.
Exactly. So you reach all kinds of different people, and if they don't get us, they're just going to go to the next number on their phone and they're going to make their tee time. So hopefully this is going to capture those people who right now maybe are lost because there's not enough staff to answer the phone when they're busy in the clubhouse.
So is this agreement the first line of defense or the second line of defense? Who's answering? Is our people answering, and then if they don't get to it after certain rings, then
it
this automatically put.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that is exactly how it is.
Okay.
But also, when we're not open and there's nobody in the clubhouse, they're
Someone
still
there.
answering. So they're still actually getting a person,
Okay.
which is
That's good.
another big plus,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Because, I want to make a tee time for, 5:30 tomorrow morning, and it's 8 o'clock at night, and, we're gone for the day. There's
So-
still somebody to answer and take that reservation.
So will this be in effect in the winter with the simulator?
I don't know.
That's a
That's
good
a good question. I don't know if they will take simulator rentals. I don't know. I guess that's something we'll have to talk about.
Okay.
Because we have to have a staff person there in the winter to do
Right.
a simulator rental. So that does have to be coordinated.
Okay.
So,
No,
but
I'm
maybe
just-
he can just say, okay, we have these times.
Right, for the simulator.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually didn't ask that question, so I'm not sure.
Super.
I'll find out.
Yeah, no, that's
Where
great.
is this call center located? I
I
guess that's
think
not
he
important.
told me, but I don't know for sure.
Being built on a U-turn.
Does,
USA?
Chicagoland? I thought you said Chicagoland.
Yeah,
Definitely USA.
Yeah, I did get the impression that it was in
Then
the
you could
United
go-
States, yeah.
Go visit it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and, It's been vetted by our attorneys. They changed a couple of things of language in here for us, which I was very happy about, and Golf Now has done that a couple of times on contracts.
Contract.
And so they want to work with us,
So
and
they're agreeable.
yeah, they are. And, I appreciate that. And so I think that, it's a win-win for us.
Cost?
Yeah,
It is one tee time per golf course
For
per
us.
day. So they take a tee time from us, and they sell it, and they keep the proceeds.
that's it.
That's
That's
it.
good.
So that's seasonal though,
Yep.
tee times. So they're still answering it when, okay.
Can you say that again, how much?
So it's one tee time per
Okay.
day per golf course for the season.
Got it.
The season could last, like this season lasted, we started up, probably there were golfers in April and there's golfers in November, not very many in November, but full in October. We had a big month in October.
It was
So,
warm.
yeah, it was nice. And so really, I think it's
It's a win-win.
I think it is. I think it's worth, trying it for a year.
See how it works
Something-
out.
There's something that, isn't working well, but I know Alan was excited about the ability to, make sure that they had all the information they would need to answer the questions, just like if it was one of his staff answering the question, answering the phone. So,
Especially how that golf course is growing.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
Yep.
When was
Okay.
this, when do you want to start this?
So, I think they probably will start it in the spring, but, he'll get it set up, and maybe if they will do the simulator, they'll start it, this
right
winter.
away. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So we just have to vote on
Yep.
approving it.
All right. I will entertain a motion for the Golf Now agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the Golf Now agreement, update to include Golf Now answers.
I have a second.
I second that.
I have a second. Any discussion? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye,
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay. The park maintenance.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys were up on this. We've been having some conversations about herbicide application. We have a sprayer that needs a lot of work, so we looked at what would it be to maybe upgrade, starting like upgrade Shepherds and then take Shepherds to Shiloh and Shiloh to Parks. But a new sprayer is about $60,000. And so we had some conversation about, well, what would it be to just have someone do the parkland that we generally do? And that takes us out of the business of having to have licensed applicators, having to have those chemicals in our shop, which is just a liability, dealing with those chemicals, mixing them, that kind of thing. So Todd did some research about having it done by an entity outside of the park district, and his recommendation listed below, I think, is well thought out. I think it is worth trying for a year and see if if we like how it works out, if, it takes then all that manpower, those guys can be doing something else, park related, and, that's a lot of time to do 90 acres of spraying. We used the Shepherd's Crook sprayer last fall, and the parkland is nothing like the golf course property, so it's not really a good solution to do that. And so I really thought that it was worth
Taking a look.
taking a look at this, and it is a little more expensive, but
In the long run.
in the long run, you got quite a few years of having somebody else do that program before you eat up the $60,000 of cost of buying a machine. And so I think it's worth at least trying, and then we can evaluate next year. Was this the way to go, or should we look at
Go back to
at
buying it.
getting a spreader?
I got a question. With the 90, with the property, is this coming on the 2 golf courses?
No, they have their own sprayers, and so they would continue to do the golf courses at this point in time. If at some point the sprayers were questionable for those two, I think then we would have an idea of if this is a good program to do in the parks, maybe we would want to take that onto the golf courses, but that's not where we're at right now, and this is a great place to start, right?
Right.
Because we don't want to, I don't think we want to start this program at the golf course. I think we
No.
want to make sure it's a good program,
Yeah,
it's a
before.
good service, that, they know, I mean, I think they know what they're doing, but,
Try it out elsewhere before we hit the,
yeah.
That's why I'm like, I like your idea and I don't like your idea. But if you take out the 2 golf courses, I like the idea a lot.
I also like the idea that it frees up the laborers to do other things.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
and
It's
that'll,
actually a plus.
It really is.
Yeah.
yeah.
And not having the hazardous material.
Well,
Right.
Hazmat's a big,
Reading further down, it's the north, south, east, and west boulevards, David Park, Leisure Center with surrounding athletic fields, parking areas, and band shell. That's a lot.
There's a lot of property.
It's a lot of property. It's one of the main selling points, for the town overall, for the park district as a whole. It's what everybody walks on. It's what our town is seen for. And if we don't keep it presentable, then, I think it's worth it. Having done landscaping, I think it's a great investment.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make you guys aware, make sure that you were comfortable with this, and, I think that Todd did a good job on this.
Yeah, putting
and,
everything together.
Wanted to share that with you.
now we'll have to prove this, or we just, okay.
Yes, you good?
Yeah, we're good with it.
Any
Yeah.
questions? Okay.
Any commissioners have anything? All right. We'll move on.
I like it.
Orfer Park Playground removal.
Right, okay, so Ophir Park is on Sheridan Road. It is at,
Is that the dip one?
it's the one
31st
that,
Street.
Goes
yeah,
down to
31st Street. So there's a playground down there. There's quite a bit of old equipment in there. The problem that we have there is that there is a
Becomes a
stream
lake.
bed that runs through that park. It's underground. You don't really see the stream bed so much. You can kind of see it through there, but it's mostly under the ground. But it floods that area. So the wood chips are constantly wet. There's always weeds in them. There's not a lot of use there because it's always wet. So we are working on a strategic plan because we are going to have some capital project dollars, and I want to really take our time and make sure that we are doing what this community wants us to do. So we're working on getting a strategic plan, and I talked about this previously. But I don't think we should wait to remove that equipment from that park and remove those wood chips and just let that grow as grass for now. I'd like to somehow get that figured out too, because mowing down there is also problematic.
Yeah.
So this is just the first step in a process of what can we do at Ophir Park? How can we beautify that area, because it is kind of an entryway to the community. You know, the boulevards are, you know, a way that people view our community, but I think Ophir Park is one of the first ones you see if you're coming from the south. So what can we do there? I think that we need to do some brainstorming and work on that, but I'd like to remove the equipment now.
I have strong feelings on that park, and I'm in agreement as far as the safety is concerned. With that park, I've been in there a lot, and hundreds of times probably. Well, I don't know about that, but dozens and dozens of times I've been in the park, and not one time have I been in that park where the chips have been dry. Number one. Number two, the park itself, every person that I have dealt with in the public community has complained to me about the park, that I've had a public conversation with or a private conversation with about the park, about it being in a state of disrepair or needing to be replaced. So as far as families that have taken their kids there or, you know, whatever, it's usually a concern about that. And the third thing is the waterway that runs underneath of it. I've had discussions with city engineers in regards to that park, and that is a floodplain, if I'm not mistaken, and the water that's there is, or the ground that is there is unstable. So, not being an expert,
Yeah.
this is a layperson talking. I fully support, should we choose to go that route, I fully support removing the playground equipment and finding a better solution, but I also support checking the ground to make sure that it's safe to do anything with it, because you know, if you have a major watershed that's, you know, right underneath there, 7 feet, 8 feet under, and it's constantly eroding that away. We have one that was right behind Lee's Auto Parts at 173 and Lewis, and it was tearing away the back of Lee Auto Parts and that building, and the state of Illinois had to come in there and reconstruct that wall to keep both buildings from falling into the waterway. So, with that being said, we have a waterway that is, you know, coming underneath of a city street, and that goes underneath a state route, which is Sheridan Road, going right through our park that we are in control of, and we have playground equipment right there. So this is broader than just us. This discussion probably might need to be looked into with the city and the state,
Right.
because that corner right there, we have a lot of that corner extending down to that building, you know, and the kids go sledding down there. I know we have temporary barricades up there, but with that watershed being right there, my concern, so this is a layperson's concern, is that groundwork is unsafe. When I was after somebody and I jumped from one side to the other, the entire ground gave way, jumping from one side of the creek to the other, from the south side to the north side. And I wasn't the only. I'm not the only person that has had that happen. So.
Okay, sounds
All
like
right.
you support our position to.
I support it
remove
fully.
Okay.
Real hungry. What if we move it to another place in the park on top?
I think that's a possibility, but I'd really like to work on this strategic plan first,
Yeah.
instead of just moving it without figuring out
What?
I think Rick's point is good, you know, what is going on in that park. I think it's important for us to check that out. We need to look at what's out there. There is a tennis court or some other.
There's a tennis court up there that is.
Basketball court too.
It's not in
Yeah,
the greatest
in bad
of shape.
shape. Yeah.
But if you know, if the natural landscaping was, you know, opened up just a hair, and we did something at the top of the hill and made it, you know, a masterpiece. You know, and we had a nice creek bed at the bottom, and we had a nice walkway there. As an example, that would be a entrance piece coming into town.
Right.
You
So I
know.
think we need to take our time. That's the only thing I think, Jess, is that let's take our time and really look at what are the possibilities instead of just saying we're gonna take it out here and move it up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that strategic plan is probably the top priority.
Right.
So at least you know what you got coming down the line before you start doing things. And you have a long-term plan set up to where you're gonna go, and then you can go from there.
I've been asked about the
So-
courts at the top as well, and they are in a good location, and if they were, you know, seen or visible, and it was, you know, fresh and clean with a nice little spot next to it, and it was next to the creek, and we had just a, you know, a little path or a walkway, it would be an ideal spot. But obviously, you know, the big plan overall for the park, I mean for the park district, you know, if we addressed it as a whole, you know, it could be a long-term thing that we looked at. But the safety of that spot, one of the first steps would be to remove that equipment and then look at, was the ground suitable, what can we do with it, what can't we do with it,
Right.
you know,
I
what
think
can we
that's a
do to
bigger-
protect the
that's a-
public.
Yeah, that's a bigger question, but I think that we have had enough input to remove the equipment at this point and
then go from there.
Yeah, go from there. So
Yep.
I agree, Jess. I think we need to really look at, you know, what would be a good way to showcase that park.
Mhm.
Because I think people do like Ophir Park, you know. It's
Do.
been there for a long time.
Do you anticipate any negative?
Well, that's why I just wanted to make sure that you guys were comfortable with that because I don't know. I don't think so. Like you said, I think people who go down there and it's always wet and it's, you know,
Yeah.
It's not even-
it's disappointing, you know, it's a playground. I take my kids to the playground and then it's like, oh.
Oh,
So there might be, because it's a
Based on-
neighborhood
right,
park.
right.
I think that's one of the great things about our park system is the neighborhood parks. People like that. They
Right.
like having a park to go to.
And this information was
So-
really good information to know.
I think one of the ways to address that as the director, and you are the director, would be there's a long-term plan for all of the parks. You know, one of the things is the safety of our citizens and, you know, the age of the equipment, the location of the equipment. And this spot is, you know, not ideal. And so, you know, we've had several complaints, so we're gonna address this now. We're gonna take care of the safety and security first. Then we're gonna address the upgrades in the upcoming future. And this is on our radar and on our agenda. So we are going to take care of things as they come. So I think it's a great idea, and it was on my radar. So thank you for addressing it.
Okay,
All right,
awesome.
all right. Well, I will entertain a motion to approve the Ophir Park playground removal.
I'll make the motion that we remove the playground equipment over Park.
Have a second?
I'm second.
I have a second. All right, any discussion? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Magera,
Aye.
Commissioner Pai,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay, next is to change the meeting, the January meeting
Right,
to
I
the
talked about that
17th
last month,
Right.
that
because of the
it
conference.
would be Wednesday night. Then we would be able to attend the state conference on Thursday.
Right, instead of running.
If we so chose. It doesn't make it a week one way or the other, which sometimes gets problematic with getting the financial reports together and making sure the bills get paid on time. So it's just one day, but we do need to get that notification out if we are gonna make that change. So-
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the January board meeting change.
So move.
I'll second it.
I have a second. Any discussion? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Magera,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Pai,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay. Anything else, Marilyn?
Nope.
All right.
What's the date of the December meeting?
21st,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
The
I will-
21st.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn the regular meeting of the Zion Park District dated 16 November 2017.
So moved.
I second.
Have a second. Any discussion? Eric, please read roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Magera,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye.
Yeah, it's the 21st, Rick.